Last week, we talked about the best megalophobia attractions, but there's a lot more to cover. So today, we'll be exploring the scariest megalophobia-inducing attractions, Part 2. The Wicker Man, Alton Towers.
Be the chosen one. Be the chosen one. Be the chosen one.
The Wicker Man, a roller coaster at Alton Towers, UK, is one of the most immersive roller coasters to ever be made. Manufactured by Great Coasters International, this ride cost a total of £16 million and was the first wooden roller coaster to be built in the UK in 22 years. But that's not all, folks. This roller coaster was the first in the UK to incorporate fire. Yeah, that's right. The Wicker Man combines wood and fire. We know what you're thinking. That's the worst combination ever. Let's see how exactly they made this work. The ride consists of a large Wicker Man statue that is 6 stories tall. The ride begins with a pre-show that sets up a story. After boarding, the train passes through a tunnel where embers light the way. Then the train bursts through the Wicker Man while flames ignite from his shoulders, turning the sculpture into a burning effigy. The train passes through him 2 more times, but don't worry about getting hurt. The structure is made from fire-retardant materials and a steel superstructure. The Wicker Man has a total track length of over 2,000 feet, with a top speed of 44 miles per hour and a height of 20 meters. A secret language of runes was created specifically for this ride. Can you decode it? Well, you'll have to go and see for yourself. And don't forget to tell everyone what an igniting experience it was. Bregenzer Festspiel. This month-long international festival is held every year in July and August in Bregenz, Vorarlberg, Austria. It features the world's largest floating stage situated in Lake Constance. One of the performances at the festival is the Rigoletto, which is an opera in 3 acts by Giuseppe Verdi. One of the props of this performance is a 14-meter-high clown's head center stage. The head, which symbolizes the main character of the opera, can be raised, lowered, and just moved in all directions overall. Rumor has it that the eyes can be detached as well. Even the clown's hands are gigantic, each 9 meters in height. What's more, the clown's eyes can blink and show varied emotions, and the mouth can be opened to show a set of variable teeth. The head serves as a huge and terrifying skull, and even its nose can be removed to reveal what looks like a blank bone. All of this, along with the brilliant lighting effects, make the clown structure truly terrifying as well as magnificent. If watching the clown on stage was not enough, the festival also offers a guided tour where visitors can get to know the technicalities that went into making the clown's head. They can even stand on stage and experience what it would be like to perform for an audience of 7,000. All in all, we guarantee that it will be an awe-inspiring experience. Murphy Fantasmic Disneyland. When Fantasmic opened at Disneyland in 1992, that climactic battle between Mickey and Maleficent wasn't quite as climactic as it is today. That's because, for most of the show's history, the role of the dragon was played by a relatively simple puppet. A puppet head on the end of a cherry picker and 2 stick wings of sheer black material with simple lights strung throughout. The same arrangement is still used at Disney's Hollywood Studios. In 2009, Imagineers constructed a full-body audio animatronic of the dragon to take its place. Standing at 45 feet tall and weighing 18,000 pounds, this spectacular fire-breathing creature easily ranked among the best animatronics on Earth. But because of its size, it is also one of the scariest. The new dragon, though, ended up being more of a monster than designers had hoped. When it finally made its debut in September 2009, fans expected the wait to be over. But it still failed. Almost every night, the dragon either didn't appear or, if it did, failed to breathe fire or froze entirely. Fans nicknamed the figure Murphy, after the so-called Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. In August 2010, when, during a performance, the dragon literally fell face first, the 18,000-pound audio animatronic was so stuck, it remained in its precarious position into the next day, until it was literally dismantled to get it out of sight. Thankfully, Imagineers were able to fix the problems the animatronic had, and now Murphy rarely misses a show. And for a 9-ton robot with a flamethrower built in, that's pretty impressive. When she does need a night off, the press of a button launches the show's water screens to hide the malfunctioning figure and replace her appearance with an animation created for just that occasion without missing a beat. This is one of the most spectacular animatronics on Earth, and it is pretty imposing and frightening. Jurassic World: The Exhibition. Admit it, the Jurassic Park movies have made us all wish that we could have been alive to see the dinosaurs, even if for only a moment. Well, folks, the Jurassic World exhibition is the closest you will ever come to seeing these majestic creatures. This immersive exhibition has huge animatronic dinosaurs that come to life before your eyes. These animatronics were created by the Australian-based Creature Technology Co. in collaboration with Jack Horner, a renowned paleontologist who also served as an advisor in the Jurassic World movies. Not only that, these dinosaurs are made to look as realistic as possible. They are said to be the closest simulation of dinosaurs ever created, based completely off real-world science of dinosaur DNA. So not only do you get to learn about these amazing prehistoric creatures, but you also get a truly immersive and realistic experience, with a pinch of fear thrown in. The exhibition first debuted in Melbourne, Australia. Since then, it has been enjoyed by more than 1 million people across various countries. As soon as you enter, you're greeted by the iconic Jurassic World gate. From there, you get to take a virtually guided tour where you encounter all the various dinosaurs. When we say that these animatronics are lifelike, we mean they are lifelike. The Brachiosaurus animatronic is 7 meters tall, and the Pachyrhinosaurus is a whopping 9 meters. The best part? You get to come face to face with the formidable Indominus Rex and hear its ferocious roars. You also get to interact with the baby dinosaurs. They also have a live entertainment experience filled with life-size dinosaurs and people who have to face obstacles which they overcome through action-packed fight sequences. Truly an awe-inspiring and fun-filled event for the whole family. Jinn, Fata Morgana. We've said many times before that we love the Efteling. One of the first and most ambitious rides this park opened is Fata Morgana. Fata Morgana was the park's first official dark ride, which put Efteling on the map as a high-quality and world-level theme park. Built in 1986, this 10-minute dark ride features 140 animatronics recreating the stories of 1001 Arabian Nights, and takes guests through 14 different scenes that have effects like open flames, lasers, wind, amazing scents, and of course, the iconic music. This ride is a must-see. In one part of the ride, the boat takes us into the throne room where there's a huge banquet where people are enjoying the drinks and snacks while a band is playing. Suddenly, a curtain opens and we see a giant who covers almost the entire scene. This giant is the Jinn. The Jinn is a gigantic, fearsome-looking creature who acts as the guardian of the treasure in the treasury of Fata Morgana. The Jinn of Fata Morgana is one of the greatest figures in the park, and of course one of the most frightening elements of the ride. When the curtains of the treasury open, the Jinn towering over the boat grunts a deep sound, shakes his head, spies his eyes, and sets the whole treasury in motion, with its ornate pillars and draperies. There's also a golden bust of the giant himself among the coins. We escape the giant by passing between his legs and entering the next scene. One of the most amazing things about this ride is the way we are taken into each scene. While on many other dark rides, we sail through the whole thing, in Fata Morgana, each scene has different types of doors that take us into the different scenes. And this is an added plus of this amazing ride. Gundam, Odaiba and Yokohama. Gundam, a Japanese science fiction media franchise, features giant robots that are called, you guessed it, Gundam. These robots have their own fan club, consisting of people of all ages. Recently, a theme facility in Yokohama near Tokyo unveiled an 18-meter-long moving Gundam statue, and people were excited, to say the least. It was built at the Gundam Factory Yokohama complex in honor of the 40th anniversary of the broadcast of the Mobile Suit Gundam TV series. Bandai Namco Holdings, the indirect owner of the series, is responsible for this giant moving robot. With more than 20 moving parts, this statue is said to take different poses every half hour. Visitors are allowed to climb to the observation decks that are 15 meters high, where they can see their favorite anime robot close up, as well as take pictures for posterity. Or, you know, social media. Not only this, the complex also hosts a Gundam lab for those who want to know how the statue works. This 18-meter statue is, in fact, not the biggest Gundam statue that Japan has seen. A 19.7-meter tall Unicorn Gundam has previously been featured at Odaiba. The Unicorn Gundam is marked by a white frame and a single antenna protruding from its head. The Odaiba Gundam hosted daily shows where you got to see Unicorn Gundam light up and turn into Destroy Gundam. The plaza also sold all types of Gundam merchandise. Isn't it wonderful to see your favorite robots come to life before your eyes? Countdown to Extinction/Dinosaur Carnotaurus. When Animal Kingdom was about to be opened, a team of Imagineers was hard at work on the concept of a land dedicated to dinosaurs. But the cost of the park kept going higher and higher, and the company was having some economic problems at this time because of the disastrous opening of Euro Disney, and this land was almost cut from the park to instead fund Beastly Kingdom. When this team of Imagineers saw that their land was about to be cut, they made Michael Eisner a deal he couldn't refuse. They promised they could cheaply double dip from the technology developed for the brand new Indiana Jones adventure, simply restaging the ride as a thrilling prehistoric adventure. The result was Countdown to Extinction, a wild off-roading adventure in the very last moments of the Cretaceous period, where we had to locate an iguanodon and save it from extinction. Our problem? One very mean, very terrifying Carnotaur. A really frightening predator with a mean roar, a pair of wild eyes, and a surprisingly fast sprint. The Carnotaurus is loud, big, and intense, with 3 progressively louder, meaner, and bigger animatronic figures. We encounter this animatronic 4 times. The first time is when the Time Rover's computer thinks it's found the iguanodon, but actually, it's the Carnotaurus. Here, he roars at the riders, but we safely get away. In the second encounter, lightning flashes to reveal the Carnotaurus. As he runs towards the guests, the Time Rover flees. After turning left and right many times to avoid meteor strikes, the Carnotaurus is encountered again, rearing to its full height and roaring loudly. Luckily, the riders in the Time Rover escape. The last encounter is just seconds before the killer asteroid hits Earth. The Carnotaurus lunges at the guests just as they make it through to the present day as the asteroid marks the extinction of the dinosaurs, including the Carnotaurus. Evangelion Statue, Toei Kyoto Studio Park. We have all heard of Universal Studios Japan. But did you know that Japan has another amazing, often overlooked theme park called Toei Kyoto Studio Park? Yes, Universal Studios seems to get all the flashy and cool stuff like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, but the Toei Kyoto Studio Park refuses to be left behind. Last summer, this theme park in old Japan unveiled a brand new attraction, a life-size Evangelion statue straight out of the famous anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion. The EVA Unit 1 statue is gigantic, huge enough to qualify as a giant robot. It is 15 meters long, or approximately 49 feet tall. This giant statue's torso is featured as emerging out of a blood-red LCL pool. The statue is half submerged in this pool, with its right hand outstretched palm up. The statue is also surrounded by caution-marked railings and sidings, meant to replicate the headquarters of NERV. But the part that makes fans go gaga is the fact that you can hop into the entry plug of the EVA Unit 1 to experience what it would truly be like to control the mecha. The backstory to this is that the Kyoto branch of NERV is seeking potential Evangelion pilots. Apart from meeting your favorite anime character, you can also live out your childhood fantasy of becoming a pilot. Monster Hunter sculptures. We have talked about the animatronics of the monsters that appear in Universal Studios Japan in a previous video. Now in this video, we will talk about the gigantic sculptures of these beloved monsters. Every year, Capcom hosts the Monster Hunter Festa, where you get to meet your fellow monster hunters and eat and drink and compete in timed challenges. One of the attractions at the Festa has been the life-size sculptures of the monsters. Life-size models of several monsters, like the Elder Dragon known as the Kushala Dawara, the Rajang, and the Sarurogiyosu, have been featured. A perfect chance for cosplayers to stand in front of the monsters and pretend they're being eaten alive. In 2011, Universal Studios Japan unveiled a gigantic silver Rathalos statue. This 20-meter-tall, 17-meter-wide statue bagged the Guinness World Record for being the biggest video game statue in the world. But USJ did not stop there with the life-size sculptures. The next year, they unveiled a 20-meter-long gold Rathian statue. Unlike the silver Rathalos, which was a non-moving statue, The gold Rathian had a moving head as well as fierce, red, glowing eyes. The Capcom booth at Tokyo Game Show in 2017 featured a huge Nergigante statue. This monster, well known for its penchant for destruction, is featured with its eyes glowing and its mouth open mid-scream. In anticipation of the release of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the Capcom booth at the Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3, introduced the Elder Dragon Velkhana, a dragon with the power to freeze everything in its path. At 18 feet tall and 40 feet wide, this sculpture was the center of attraction, visible from every corner of the hall. Using a 180-degree bullet cam, mesmerized fans were able to share their encounters with this fierce dragon on social media. It seems that Monster Hunter takes their life-size sculptures very seriously. The Giant, Sinbad Storybook Voyage, Tokyo Disney Sea. Sinbad Storybook Voyage is a dark ride at Tokyo Disney Sea. The ride opened on September 4, 2001 as Sinbad's 7 Voyages. This first version of the ride was not very popular among guests because it had a very dark tone. It was scary and unfriendly for most guests, and they usually skipped it. So in late 2008, it closed to be reimagined. The new version opened as Sinbad Storybook Voyage, March 29, 2007. For this new ride, Imagineers added a lighter mood, changing the theme of most of the scenes, added a cute tiger sidekick named Chandu, and also a song written by Alan Menken called Compass of Your Heart, which you need to listen to. One of the central scenes that Imagineers changed was the Cave of the Giant. In this scene, we see the best animatronic in this ride and one of the biggest that Disney has in their parks. Sinbad and Chandu take the bird's magical feathers to the giant, who is locked inside a prison. We see him locked inside his cell, peeking out from the small window. Even though we can only see his face, the movements and the expressions are amazing. Sinbad uses the feather to unlock the cell and free the giant, and following that, we enter a room where we see the huge giant singing with Sinbad and thanking him for his freedom by giving him his gold. If you have megalophobia and you think this giant is terrifying, imagine experiencing this ride before it was reimagined. You see, before the changes, the giant was not friendly with Sinbad. In the original ride, the giant was not imprisoned, and his introduction was him angrily watching Sinbad's crewmates playing with his treasure through a gap in the cave wall. Then, with him being a more antagonistic force, his next appearance has him holding 2 of Sinbad's crewmates aloft, while Sinbad raises his sword in an attempt to rescue them, although others are scrambling to escape with what they have. Thankfully, the ride was changed, and it became what it is today, one of the most beloved Disney Parks dark rides. Still, if you're afraid of large objects, or in this case, large animatronics, maybe you want to close your eyes on this scene. Well, that's it, folks. Whether you are scared of large objects or not, you cannot deny the fact that these structures are amazing. We can only imagine how much work went into all of these. Put these on your bucket list, and to check them off, be sure to start planning your next magical vacation with our friends from PixieVacations.com. They will help you plan your perfect vacation to any Disney or Universal park specifically tailored to your vacation style and budget. And working with a Pixie is completely free. So talk with them to make the best out of your next vacation. See you next time!